Hello, welcome back to the podcast, to the Growth Show. I'm your host, Whitney, and welcome back to our funnel series on the podcast. So we are now in part 3 of our series. And if you missed the first 2 episodes, let me give you a quick recap. So in episode 1, I started talking about why every health practitioner needs to have a funnel, and not just any funnel, a lead generation funnel. This is really not optional. This is really how you grow your list, grow your marketing reach and impact, and actually get more clients coming into your practice without having to spend so much time manually finding people and manually connecting with people. It really automates a lot of things for you. So there's a lot of reasons why a lead gen funnel is a really great thing for your practice. So I explained what a lead gen funnel is and why you would want one. So if you missed that, check out episode 1. And then in episode 2, I talked about what actually is inside of that funnel. What is the anatomy of a lead gen funnel? What are those key pieces that need to be in there, and how do they all connect, and how do they all work to actually achieve that goal of having more leads coming into your practice and having more of those people actually book calls and turn into clients for you. So if you missed either of those episodes, I highly recommend going back and listening to them. They are going to make everything that I talk about today make a lot more sense, quite frankly. But I know that also last week was a short week, or could have been a short week, holiday week in the US. This is being released now after the Memorial Day week. So if you missed them because of the holiday, now is a great time to catch up on them as well. We're only going to do 1 episode this week for the series, and then next week I'm going to have 2 episodes for you, and they are going to be really good. But today is going to be really good too, because this is a topic that really has a lot of impact on whether your funnel is going to be successful. But before I even dive into that, I want to remind you too that I have a new free resource that goes along with this series. That is my lead gen funnel blueprint for health practitioners. So it's a free download that you can get. Just go to whitneybateson.com/funnel blueprint. And if you haven't grabbed it yet, now is definitely a good time. So basically, it's a planning guide that helps you work through all of the steps of what a funnel needs to include. It gives you a visual of what your lead gen funnel would look like, and then what are all the key pieces that need to be a part of it, and my tips for making sure that each of those pieces are getting set up correctly so that they are actually going to be functional and hitting the marks and doing their job to not just get new subscribers onto your email list, but actually have new people booking calls and those people turning into clients, which is the ultimate goal of this funnel that we're talking about here. So grab it now, whitneybateson.com/funnel blueprint. And it's going to also apply to today's episode, where we are diving into your lead magnet or your freebie, whatever you want to call it, that free resource that stands at the front of your funnel. That is the open door that people are going to walk through to get into your funnel. And we really want to make sure that it is doing its job. This is actually one piece where I see the most problems with, and it can be the reason why your funnel actually isn't working, in the sense that it isn't turning those subscribers for this resource into clients and discovery calls on your calendar. So everything else might be looking fine. You may have some of the other components that I talked about in the last episode in place, but things still aren't working. And so if they're still not working, this could be the answer. This could be the spot that you need to be focusing on. That is something that we're going to talk about and fix today, why that happens, and what to do about it. All right, so let's dive in. What does your freebie, your lead magnet, actually need to do? So for most practitioners, they think that the alignment, so your freebie has to align with your offer. Whatever it is you're talking about in your lead magnet and your freebie needs to align with whatever you're offering. And so a lot of folks just look at it and say, okay, the topic matches the offer. So I have a gut health program. I have a gut health freebie. I have a menopause program. I have a menopause related freebie. And that's like the base level. That is the low bar that we need to meet. But that's not what is actually driving conversions. That is not the thing that is ultimately going to get people to really see you as that next obvious choice in their path towards solving their problem ultimately. It's like leaving a lot on the table if we just focus on, okay, are we talking about the topic that our business is about? Let's go deeper than that. So the real question has to be, what does someone believe or feel or understand after they consume your lead magnet? So your freebie needs to leave them in a very specific mental state, one where your offer feels like the next obvious step. Your specific service offering, working with you, feels like the next step for them after they went through whatever your resource was. So there are a few ways that a freebie can fail, and they are related. So I'm going to talk through all of them today, but a few things. So first off, it could be a helpful freebie, could be a really helpful resource, but it's getting them ready for something else that isn't actually your specific offer and the thing that you can help them with. Also, it could be topically close, but be emotionally disconnected. So the topic could be the right topic, but it's actually not getting the people who download it emotionally and mentally ready for your offer. Or it could answer the question so completely that there is no next question. There is nowhere else to go from here. They got what they needed and they're done because the question was a pretty simple question. You gave them everything they needed to know and that's it. They're done. So the test that you need to be passing your freebie through is, does your freebie create an appetite for what you sell? Or does it just satisfy curiosity? Does it give some useful information, but then there's really no compelling reason emotionally, mentally, or even just like logistically for them to go any further, to seek your help, to seek anything else? It's just, okay, that was great. So I'm going to walk through an example with a hormone health dietitian. So let's imagine that you are a dietitian helping women with hormone imbalances. And maybe you work on a specific life stage or some chronic conditions. But for now, let's just say that it's rebalancing hormones. And some of the things that you're helping women with are more energy. They're lacking energy. They're looking for better sleep, getting relief from other symptoms that they're experiencing. So you're helping them in some regard in the relation to hormone imbalance and some of the feelings and symptoms that come from that. So first, let me talk through what would be a less than desirable freebie for this kind of dietitian and this kind of business. So you could put together a freebie, and I've seen freebies like this, 5 foods to boost your energy naturally. So this is, on its face, a useful, actionable freebie. It's technically something that you probably would be talking about and counseling your clients about in some way, shape, or form. But it really just answers a surface symptom, and it could honestly lead to a variety of services or specializations, right? So 5 foods to boost your energy naturally. That could be for new moms. That could be for burnt out professionals. That could be for athletes. Like, on the one hand, it feels like it's specific, but on the other hand, it's actually really not specific to this dietitian's practice or really any dietitian's practice. So someone downloads this resource, they try the foods, maybe they feel a little bit better, they learn some stuff, and they're like, okay, cool, thanks for the tips. But there's really no next step. There's no next question of where to go next. And it's definitely not calling in the specific people for actually focusing on hormone-related issues that are needing specific help in that area. So let's talk through 2 potential alternative lead magnets that would be a better fit for actually getting a lead who would, at the end of that lead magnet, be starting to feel like, okay, working with a dietitian on this would actually be a really good next step for me. So the first option could be a lead magnet that is titled, "Is this hormone imbalance a self-assessment for women who feel off but can't explain why?" So basically, it's some kind of assessment for women who are questioning if the symptoms that they're having right now and the feelings that they're going through are related to their hormones, or maybe they're just having a lack of sleep, or maybe there's something else going on, or whatever the case is. Is it me, or is there something deeper going on? And they're really not sure, and they really just would love someone to give them those answers to figure out, like, okay, what's going on? Could this be a thing? Do I need to start actually seeking help about this versus going and talking to my doctor or just having to accept this or whatever? So the subscriber who downloads this resource, this self-assessment to determine, are they experiencing some hormone imbalances that actually could be solved? They're going to read about it. They're going to start connecting the dots. They're going to see that, yeah, I'm dealing with fatigue. My mood is off. My sleep is off. I'm having these sleep disturbances. I'm having cycle changes and other changes in my body. And they are seeing, hey, this is actually a pattern that is indicated that it could be a hormone imbalance. There could be something deeper going on. This isn't just stress. This isn't just normal kind of stuff. Oh, I'm getting older. I just have to accept this now. So she's unlocked an answer that was really plaguing her. She was really not sure where to go. So you have helped her kind of do a mini self-diagnosis. And that is really huge. So she has been bothered by this for a really long time, this nagging question, and now you've helped her with that. So this resource is really helpful. And so now, the end of it, she is asking, okay, I have learned that this really could actually be something deeper going on with my hormones. What do I do about it now? I'm really excited that I think I may have a little bit of an answer in terms of the path of what I need to be going down to fix this. So what do I do about this now? And your offer of helping with this specifically answers that question. So it has set her up for, okay, I got one question answered, but now here's my next question. And your offer is a great answer to that question. Okay, so that is one example of one resource and how it could work in that way. And then another example could be this one where it is entitled something like 3 lifestyle shifts that actually move the needle on hormone imbalances. So for this one, the subscriber, she's getting some real insights into some things that she could be doing today that could make a difference for her. So maybe she tries one of them, she notices a shift, or she at least realizes that there are opportunities in her life right now to make changes that could improve things. And that it's not just a medicate or deal with it kind of situation. There's things that she can actually do. So she's getting some hope back. She's feeling like, hey, there are opportunities here. But your resource is also honest and lets her know that these are great lifestyle shifts. They generally work better when they are tailored to your specific situation, sequenced in a certain way. There's also others that could be explored as well. So you are letting her know that, hey, this is a good first step, but this is definitely not the entire picture. So now she's asking, okay, how do I know which one of these is going to apply to me? How do I make sure that I actually stick with them? What are some other things that I could be doing as well? What are these opportunities that I could potentially look into? And so again, your offer answers that question of, okay, this is actually what it would look like to get specific advice for making changes in your life based on your situation, your lifestyle, your labs, whatever it is that you focus on, that is what you're going to be talking about. So remember, a great freebie doesn't leave someone thinking, okay, good to know. Yeah, this is good information. It leaves them thinking, okay, how do I actually do this for myself now? How can I implement these things successfully? How do I get support around that? So your offer is the answer to that question. And really, you can think about it too, that your lead magnet is the what. It is a small shift. It is a shift in knowledge, in beliefs, in mindset. It is still giving people so much value and so much information that can help them. But your offer is really the how to make bigger, longer lasting changes with your support. We all know that there is absolutely no way that you can completely resolve a health situation or challenge or chronic disease or whatever someone is dealing with one single PDF. That's not how it works. So it's okay that your resource is not solving their entire problem because that's just not possible. And actually, it can be a hindrance if you try and solve too much all in one resource. So we are still giving people, though, that first step in understanding and that shift that needs to happen anyway in order for them to feel ready to work with a dietitian or therapist or other clinician to actually get support. So you are helping them along their journey, but ultimately you know that they're going to get the best, most long-lasting results when they work with someone who actually is a professional, who is going to guide them. And we know that habit change takes time. All of these things are things that are expected when you want to actually be making a big change. And so to feel, okay, my resource is giving part of the answer, but really the full answer is to come work with me, like that's normal and natural. And that is how you really want to set people up, because that is going to make them feel really ready then to work with you. So a quick gut check that you can do for your own freebie is ask yourself some of these questions. So what does someone walk away believing after they read this resource and go through it? What do they walk away with believing? What's the next question that it creates for them? Does your offer answer that question? And if yes, that's awesome. Sounds like things are aligned for you. If your offer is not quite answering that question, or your lead magnet is not even creating that question, then this is something to be looking at and reassessing and really thinking through. What are those things that I could be talking about or helping my clients with that would make them ready to feel that working with me is then now the next logical choice? And not everyone's going to move forward to work with you from your lead magnet. That's totally fine. But the people that are downloading your resource have the problem that you can help people with. So some of them are just looking for a little bit more information. They are in that fact-finding phase. They are learning, they're educating themselves. And so your resource is helping them along that journey. And then it is introducing them to how you can help them on a deeper level. Okay, so if you did not get that funnel blueprint yet, then definitely grab that now, because I do talk through your freebie in that resource. And I have a few other pointers in there as well that I didn't go through in this episode. I really focused on how is your freebie, like the topic of it, and how is it positioned to really connect really well with the services that you're offering to people, because that is really critical to get that topic and that positioning of your lead magnet right. But then what we actually put within the lead magnet is important too. One tip that I'll give you just right now, but there are a few others in the download, is to make sure that final page in your lead magnet is actually talking about how you can help people, whether it is describing your services or the specific offer that lead magnet is tied to, or at the very least, inviting people to a discovery call to explore how to go deeper with your personalized support. And that's something that I just see missing from a lot of lead magnets out there, is that there's a lot of great information in there, but then there is no next step at the end. So we definitely need to have that in there, because remember, a great lead magnet is answering one question and then it's creating the next question, the next step. So we want to give people who are getting your resource the next way to get the answer to that next question. And that is going to be by working with you and exploring that relationship with you. So go to whitneybateson.com/funnel blueprint, whitneybateson.com/funnel blueprint to download it. We have the link in the show notes too. And one thing that I will say too, after all of this, if you are feeling stuck about creating your first freebie, or you have one, but know it could be better, and you would just rather have someone else just do it for you and take care of all of this, then I have a new service that we are going to be offering very soon. I am going to be talking about that soon. I think you would really love it if you are looking for just someone to take this off your hands and take actually many aspects of your funnel, all of your funnel off your hands. That's what that service is going to be about. One of the things that we cover in the service is actually creating your lead magnet or updating your current one. to really make sure that it's dialed in to specifically call in the people that are right for your offer and that it is actually creating that emotional readiness for your offer and your services. So it's something that we work on in that. So more to come about that soon. And we are not done with the funnel series either. So this was part 3, but we have a few parts left. So the next thing that I want to talk about after we have now talked about the lead magnet is the follow-up. So once someone does download your amazing freebie, what happens next? So what follows is your welcome sequence. We did talk about that a little bit in some of the prior episodes. So I really want to dive into that a lot more. Really, the follow-up is as important as the freebie. And a lot of people, frankly, they F it up. They don't do it, or they do parts of it, but not all of it. And I get it. It's another piece. You spent all this time in the lead magnet and you're like, oh man, I have to do more, but it's so important. So let's avoid that. I'm going to talk you through what exactly you need to have in your follow-up sequence and in your lead magnet welcome series so that you can make sure that you are really not just getting people excited in that lead magnet, but really excited in the days that follow after they've downloaded as well. So if you want to make sure you get that, subscribe to the podcast so that you can be notified when the next episode drops. And thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.